repurchased and reconsumed and repurchased and consumed and repurchased and consumed and repurchased and consumed. You can do the job once but get paid over and over and over again. People ask me, Alan, how much did you make in your first year in the business? I say, I don't know. I'm still earning from it. Do you realize the power in that? Do you realize that back in 2009, 15 years ago, I introduced this incredible life-changing technology to people, and they had amazing results, and we have no competition, no copycats. You can't get this technology anywhere else in the world, so they had to come back to me, and they repurchased every single month for 15 years. I did the work once, and I've been paid 186 times. If they order this month, and they will, I will be paid 187 times. There is power in residual income, and residual income can create freedom in your life. Now, I remember when I was young, and we would go on a family vacation, I always remember my father saying to me, you see, it wasn't how much, my father was a dentist. It was a well-paid profession. But I always remember my father complaining it wasn't how much the vacation cost. It's how much it cost him not to be working. That was the biggest expense. And deep down in my brain, in my mind somewhere, I began to realize that if you're exchanging your time for dollars, your time for ringgit, then you will never truly have freedom. And so with our business, because we get paid on a beautiful product that is consumable, and that product has no competition, no copycats, and we reorder it month after month after month, that is what locks in the magic of this business. Those repeat sales, that residual income that can create tremendous freedom, financial freedom in your life. Now to me, the key to reordering this product is subscription. We have one of the best subscription models on the planet. Who's on subscription here? Okay, there's not enough hands. There's not enough hands. Let me tell you something. Our Redux Rewards program is one of the most generous subscription programs on the planet, inside or outside of network marketing. Nobody comes close to how generous this subscription program is. Nobody. 30%, you can earn up to 30% back on your purchases. If you are not ordering your product on subscription, you are throwing money away. Do you realize that? I have 100 ringgit here. I have 100 ringgit. I'm going to crumble it up. If you're not on subscription, you're throwing money away. You can pick that up, it's real. My friend Glenn Martin here is going to demonstrate this again. Run, Glenn, run from Australia. If you are not on subscription, you're throwing money away. If you're not on subscription, you are throwing money away. Do you realize that? If you're not on subscription, run, my little Australian friend, run. If you're not on subscription, you're throwing money away. If you are not on subscription, you are throwing money away. I just threw 500 ringgit away. I'm not going to do any more because I'm not Trish Franklin. She could go all day. You have to understand this, guys. When you're with your teams, tell them, take 100 ringgit, throw it up in a ball, throw it out the window. If you're not on subscription, you are throwing money away. Subscription is what builds residual income. Residual income is what builds financial freedom. Financial freedom creates freedom in your life. Now I will start my presentation. So today I'm going to talk about, there's a reason why I started there. Today I'm going to talk about becoming the leader. Becoming the leader. Who wants to become a leader? Okay. So the reason I shared financial freedom and residual income and not getting paid based on time, but instead getting paid on product purchased and consumed and repurchased and consumed and repurchased and consumed, it gives you freedom. So every year I can take June and July and I leave hot Texas weather and I get to go home to my beautiful homeland in Ireland. Has anybody visited Ireland? Anybody gone to Ireland? It's beautiful. When I ask people, you know, very often in America, there's a lot of Irish descendants in America, and they'll say, hey, oh, I wish I could go to Ireland. My great-great-grandfather was Irish. I'd love to go to Ireland. And I say, well, why haven't you been to Ireland? And do you know what they say? I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money. We have a business that changes all of that. So I get to go home to Ireland every single summer. It's the land where every day is a bad hair day. Except for me. I get to spend beautiful time with my family. Quality time with my family. Every year we go to the highest sea cliffs in Europe. And we just spend time. My girls, my two girls, get time with their cousins. The family bonds get stronger. We visit the beautiful beaches of Ireland. The waterfalls of Ireland. We go fishing, catching little mackerel in the bay, and we watch the dolphins come in to play. I'm getting paid while I'm watching the dolphins. Because I don't get paid on time, I get paid on product consumed and repurchased and consumed and repurchased and consumed. I get time to enjoy the beautiful ice cream of Ireland. Quality memories with my daughter. And I get to watch the beautiful sunsets of Ireland. I'm getting paid while I'm watching that sunset, Lasagna. I even get to take my kids to every year I gotta take these girls to the amusement park. And I don't know if you can see this, I wanna zoom in a little bit. I go in a little closer, can you see that? It's not great. I'm convinced there is a scientific study somewhere that says the longer you spend feeling sick after an amusement ride, the older you are. I think we can gauge our biological age by how long we feel sick after a ride. Look at my two girls, they don't care, they're loving it. I'm trying to hold it together. But then after spending time in Ireland, we got on the plane and we went to beautiful Lake Como. Went to Lake Como, absolutely stunning. Who's been to northern Italy, Lake Como? It is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Again, spending quality time as a family. Living the dream. Look at those beautiful girls. I am a blessed man. I have a lot of gratitude. Thankfully, they look more like their mother than their father. There's my beautiful wife, Tanya. I love this picture because I can remember my girls laughing. Like only sisters can laugh. They've got all these little jokes between them. You know Lorraine, you've two girls. They have all these little jokes they're laughing about. Usually they're laughing at me. But I can remember their laughter on the boat. And guess what? During that beautiful experience, I'm getting paid. I'm earning income. Because I don't get paid on time, I get paid on product consumed and repurchased and consumed. And I don't have to be there because our product is so amazing. Beautiful Lake Como. And of course, here's my favorite picture. You never forget your first Italian pizza. So then I went to visit my incredible friend, Zoltan Varnai, you got to hear from yesterday. Isn't Zoltan amazing? And my family got to spend some time with his family in Zermatt. Do you know what Zermatt is famous for? Ski. Does anybody know this mountain?
Yes.
The Matterhorn in the Alps. Absolutely beautiful mountain. It was just so stunning. this incredible mountain. And we went all the way up to the top with Zoltan and his family and into the ice caves and just spent some really quality time. And I ate a giant Toblerone. In fact, as I'm looking at this, I think I'm beginning to realize why I put on so much weight in the summer. The Irish ice creams, the Italian pizza, and the giant Toblerone. I think I have figured out the problem. Now, I call this one chillaxing. You could also call this earning residual income. This is what earning residual income looks like. It's not how you earn it. You got to get to work. But this is what earning residual income actually looks like. You see, I'm getting paid while we're staring at the Matterhorn. Because I don't get paid on time. I get paid on product purchased and consumed and repurchased and consumed and repurchased and consumed. And then I went to beautiful Lake Lagano to visit my good friend and amazing ASEA leader, Zoltan Varnai. Let me tell you something, guys. The product changes lives. The financial opportunity is amazing. But you also build friendships in this business that will last a lifetime. The greatest friends I have on the planet are my ASEA family. And Zoltan was holding a leadership event for a small group of his team, up-and-coming leaders. And this leadership event, there were, I think, 7 countries, was it 7 countries, Zoltan, that were represented at this event? And they got around in his beautiful apartment in Lake Lagano. Look at that beautiful view. And they asked a question. And there was one question that kept coming up over and over and over again. Well, sorry, Zoltan asked the question, what is your #1 challenge in moving your business forward? And there were several answers, but there was one answer that kept coming up, and it was, how do I attract and develop leaders? How do I attract and develop leaders into my ASEA organization? And the answer I gave was this. First, you must become the leader that people are looking for. First, you must become the leader that people are looking for if you want to attract and then develop leaders in your organization. And so that's what we're talking about today. How do you become the leader that people are looking for? John Maxwell, the expert on leadership, says everything, not some things, not a few things, not most things, everything rises and falls on leadership. And so in this presentation, I've come up with 5 images that I believe help tell the story and help explain 5 very important traits of leadership. The first one, before we get into those, I want to explain that leadership is a continuum. It's not like a light switch that's either on or off. It's more like a dimmer switch that you gradually turn up or sometimes turn down. Okay, so it's not black or white. It's not on or off. It's not leader or not leader. It's a continuum. And we have a continuum of a consumer turns into a connector, a builder, and ultimately a leader. And so you may say, well, I don't really want to be a triple presidential leader. But can I step up my leadership a little bit more? I'd love to be a gold leader in my business. I'd love to be maybe a platinum leader in my business. So this is a continuum. So whether you're just getting started in the business or whether you're already a Zoltan Varnai, there's always more room for us to move along the leadership continuum. So what do you think this first picture represents? Any ideas? Look in the mirror. We look in the mirror because this is a business of self-responsibility. If you're looking for success, do not look up, do not look down, look at the face in the mirror. It's not your upline's responsibility, It's not your team's responsibility. It's your responsibility and only your responsibility. My good friend Mal Sword, Triple Ambassador Diamond, he says, if you make $1 million in this business, Lazaimi, that's your fault. But the same is also true if you don't. That's your fault. This is a business of self-responsibility. If it's to be, it is up to me. We want to become self-responsible, self-motivated, self-functioning ASEA associates. You see, when we're not, we become the victim. Everything affects us. It's their fault. It's my upline's fault. It's my team's fault. It's the company's fault. It's the government's fault. It's my parents' fault. It's my children's fault. It's my brother's fault. And you become a victim. And victims are powerless. They have no power. Victims are like a boat in the sea with no sail, no rudder, just floating, bobbing in the sea. Wherever the wind and the waves take them, that's where they go. They are victims. They have no power. Your job is to rise above the line. Go from being a victor to becoming, from a victim to becoming a victor. When you take full responsibility for where you are in life, you become the victor. Now you are powerful. Now you can do something about it. You have the power. So number one, be totally self-responsible for your business. It is only your responsibility. You are an independent ASEA associate. You're not a dependent ASEA associate. You're not dependent on anybody. It's your responsibility. Now when I say becoming independent, I do not mean becoming a Rambo. Now in America, there's 2 TV programs. Does anybody remember the A-Team? Did you ever get that here, the A-Team?
Yes.
Do you remember Mr. T?
Yes.
Okay? And we know that A-Team, what's it stand for? Together, everyone achieves more. But what about Rambo? He's the lone warrior. In network marketing, Rambo would be dead. He would not survive in network marketing. You see, Rambo stands for rarely achieve much by oneself. So do not confuse independence with being a Rambo. They're not the same thing. Our goal here is to build amazing teams of people, but every single person should be independent. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I did a survey on a Zoom call one time, and on this Zoom call I asked, how long should it take for you to become independent in your ASEA business? And I got all of these answers. There were 266 people on this Zoom call that responded. And I got all sorts of answers from 1 week, 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 3 years. Some even said never. I believe 3 months is the sweet spot. I think in 3 months, you should really be independent in your business. You should know how to place orders. You should know which countries are open for business. You should know how to manage your subscription. You should know the very basics of the beginning of the compensation plan. You should know how to log into your back office. You should know how to place an order, how to enroll an associate. You should know the main tools that you use to help tell the story. It's not a complicated business. And so you can see we've got a little bit of work to do in ASEA. Because 70% of people didn't think it was their responsibility to be independent within 3 months. So here's your leadership challenge. What is one area, just one area of your business where you can demonstrate a greater degree of independence and self-responsibility every single day? We still do the 3-way calls. We still work as a team. But it's having that attitude, if it's to be, it's up to me. It's the face in the mirror. And when you do this, something amazing happens. You move from being the victim with no power to being the victor, full of power, full of potential. Now this is my favorite image. I could do a whole training just on this beautiful lighthouse. But what do you think this represents? What leadership trait do you think this picture represents? It's vision. There's a saying, where there is no vision, the people perish. You see, with vision, you have the ability to inspire other people. Inspire means to breathe life into. To breathe life into yourself with your own vision, and to breathe life into others with your vision. And so two things. Number one, you must get clear on your vision. And number two, you must be able to effectively communicate that vision with other people. Now, we were recently in Dubai at the diamond trip. Where's all my diamonds that were in Dubai with us? Yeah, very quiet diamonds. That's okay. When you get to diamond, you don't have to cheer, you don't have to say. So we went this beautiful trip to Dubai. And what amazed me is I began to learn the story of the United Arab Emirates. I began to learn the story of Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And these sheikhs that had amazing vision. They could see when they discovered oil in 1971, they could see taking just fishing villages and desert and turning them into some of the greatest cities in the world. And their vision was that, hey, someday the oil will run out. And we have to create something much bigger than just the oil. Do you know that the oil in Dubai is now only 1% of their economy? Just 1%. They created something so much bigger than the oil. And I was absolutely blown away by the incredible vision. Everybody starts small. We all begin life as a single cell. Every business starts as one person with an idea. How fast you go, how far you get is in your hands. The bigger your vision, the bigger your achievement will be. Will you stumble on the way? Perhaps. But we cannot let fear keep us small. We have to be brave to be big. I want to thank David Hubb for sharing this with me. He did a presentation a couple of days ago, and I saw this slide and I said, I meant to make a slide just like this. Can I borrow yours? So thank you, David, for letting me use your slide. Their vision was absolutely incredible. I'm going to share with you my vision for ASEA. I'm working with a team of global entrepreneurs who are on a mission to take a little known but very powerful health technology and turn it into a global household name in the next 5 years. A few things you should know about this technology. It is very powerful, impacting every system, every organ, every function of the body, not just at the cellular level, but at the profound depths of the genetic level. It is backed by 7 patents and over 1,000 trade secrets. We have no competition. We have no copycats. No other company in the world has what we have. And it is backed by third-party, credible university science. Best of all, virtually nobody knows this technology exists. Maybe only 2% of the population. America is the #1 country in the world. Texas, where I live, is the #2 state, is the #1 state for ASEA sales in America. So the biggest country, the biggest state in that country, and I would say only 2% of the population even knows that technology exists. And this is opening up significant financial opportunity for the right person. That's my vision for this business and where it's going. And guys, what's coming in 2025? We haven't even got started yet. We're just warming up. We've achieved over $1 billion of sales over the last 15 years. I personally believe we will do another $1 billion of sales in the next 3 to 5 years. It's going to get very fast. It's going to be a long run. Do not miss it. Do not miss it. But this is my vision. So I have the vision that I communicate to people. So I can inspire them. So I can breathe life into them. And so first you must have the vision for your business. You must have the vision for ASEA. What are you part of? Do you understand how huge this is going to be? How significant this is? that you are here in a moment in history. But you must also have a vision for your role to play in it, for you. You must get total clarity on your vision for yourself. And so I'm going to encourage you for the next 90 days, write out your vision. What do you want? What does winning look like for you in ASEA? Get clear on it. Speak it. Speak it every single day. See it. Start to visualize it. Exactly what Zoltan was talking about in his presentation. And then start to feel it. Start to create memories of the future. You start to see your future so clearly, you would swear that it is real. You see, when you have clear vision, you move from having confusion and uncertainty in your life, and you start to live above the line in a place of total clarity and confidence. And that is where the power is. Okay, what does this picture represent?
Roller coaster.
Now, Trish hit on this a little bit in her presentation. Emotional stability. I believe leaders must have a level of emotional stability. They can stand strong when the wind... You know, I love the lighthouse. The other reason I love the lighthouse picture, because that beautiful lighthouse is sitting on a rock. On a solid rock. And when the winds come in and the hurricanes and the typhoons come in and the waves come crashing in on that lighthouse stays strong. Leaders stay strong. Leaders have tremendous emotional stability. And too often, we're riding the big roller coaster. We get too excited. Oh, somebody joined my business. We're way up here. Oh, somebody left my business. Now we're way down here. And then we're way up here, and then we're way down here. We're riding this roller coaster. And we're burning ourselves out emotionally. And so what I've got here is why the kiddie ride? I'm going to encourage you guys, bring your highs down a little bit, bring your lows up a little bit, and enjoy the kiddie ride. You see, you can stay on the kiddie ride for a very, very, very long time. You can't stay on the emotional roller coaster for a very long time. I've seen some very talented people in this business destroy their business because they're emotionally unstable. Bring your lows up, bring your highs down. It's a lot of what the gentleman talked about before, happiness. Now, one of the ways to bring your highs down is don't fall in love with people's potential. Don't fall in love with what people say they're going to do. Fall in love with what people actually do. Don't get too excited too easily. But also don't try and have control over things you've no control over. Okay? I want to teach you the fundamental attribution error. The fundamental attribution error states that when judging other people, we tend to be biased towards their character. When judging ourselves, we tend to be biased towards circumstances. Let me explain. You're going down the road, you're going down the highway in your car, and this Ferrari with a young guy driving goes right past you. Maybe takes the corner a little too fast, maybe cuts you off, and you immediately start to judge him. Oh, he's selfish, he's arrogant, he's this, he's that. We judge them. But what happens when we're speeding down the road? We're going a little too fast, taking the corner a little too fast. Lasagna in your sporty Audi, huh? What happens then? Well, you don't understand. I'm late for an appointment. My wife's going to have a baby. I'm going to miss my flight. We default to our circumstances. So we point the finger at others and their character, but we give ourselves a pass and say it's circumstances. This is the error that we make in life. And so when dealing with people, when dealing with your prospects, make a conscious decision to be biased towards their circumstances. Don't judge them until you know the facts. Let's stop using this word ghosting until you know the facts. Now, I don't know if I have time to tell the story. I'll tell it very quickly. I learned this lesson in my mid-20s in Ireland. I went to do a presentation for a gentleman. It was a 6-hour drive. There was no internet. I didn't have a cell phone. I drove, actually it was 7 hours I drove to go meet him, and he didn't show up. And all the way back home, I was preparing my speech. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
I was ready to give him a piece of my mind, how selfish he was, how inconsiderate he was, how he wasted my time. And I got up the next morning and I called him and I read him the riot act. I told him what I thought about him. And he interrupted me and said, "Hey Alan, I'm sorry, but my wife died." My wife died. And in that moment, I realized that I should not judge anybody until I know their circumstances. If you adopt this, it will make follow-up in your business much more pleasurable. If you adopt this idea, it's going to remove a lot of the frustration that you have. See, frustration is living below the line. We want to live above the line in a place of fascination. So your leadership challenge is become aware when you're on the roller coaster. Become aware when your highs are too high and your lows are too low. Become aware. Awareness is the first step to recovery. The courage to change is the second. And that brings us to another one. What is this? The lion. It's courage. Leaders show tremendous courage. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. Courage is not the absence of fear, but it's moving forward in the face of fear. If there is no fear, you don't need courage. So, to step out of your comfort zone and into your miracle zone, where you have the potential to transform lives and change somebody's life in an amazing way, you need courage. See, here's your little comfort zone. Everything you want in life is just outside the comfort zone. This is where the magic happens, the miracle zone. But what you need to move from the comfort zone to the miracle zone is just one moment of courage. You don't need a bucket load of courage. You don't need courage all the time, all day. You just need one moment of courage to pick up that phone and call that person that you're afraid to call. We call it your chicken list. You need just one moment of courage. I want to show you what this looks like. This is Kim Larson, who is the head of our events, and head of our Advancing Life Foundation. And she was absolutely petrified of these lions in Africa. She didn't want to touch them. She wouldn't touch them. She was petrified. But all it took was one small moment of courage to lay her hands on the lions, and it changed her life. It changed her. Look at this. One moment of courage. Being afraid to touch the lions, to now taking them for a walk with their tails. One moment of courage can change your life. This is my favorite quote of all time. The greatest fear in the world are the opinions of others, and the moment you're unafraid of the crowd, you're no longer a sheep, but you become a lion, and a great roar arises in your heart. The roar, there's my favorite word, of freedom. It takes courage to have what other people don't have. So here's your leadership challenge. Every day, practice having at least one small moment of courage. Every day, just one small moment of courage. And when you do that, you stop living below the line with fear. You start to live above the line in a beautiful place of courage. Last one. To lead from the front. Leaders lead by example. They do not ask their team to do something that they are unwilling to do themselves. If you want more enrollments in your team, then lead the charge with enrollments. If you want more guests on your Zoom calls, Then lead the charge by inviting more people to the Zoom call. You see, leaders, it's not management. Leaders don't manage. There's this beautiful phrase, Admiral Grace Hopper. She said, you manage things, you lead people. We're not things to be managed. We're here to be led. And some of us will step up and become the leader that people are looking for. So here's your leadership challenge. Would you sponsor you? How excited would you be to sponsor yourself? Would you be in trouble? Or are you excited? Think of your perfect prospect. What qualities does your perfect prospect have? Then work at becoming that perfect prospect. Working on becoming all of the leadership traits that you're looking for. Ask yourself, how can I consistently show up as the best version of me every single day? And when you do this, you move away from living below the line where you're managing things, and you live above the line where you start to lead. You start to be an example to others. People want to follow you. So here we are. Self-responsibility. Looking into the mirror. If it's to be, it's up to me. Having that vision, that clear vision for the ASEA business and for yourself in the ASEA business. And are you able to communicate that vision to others that it can inspire them to breathe life into them? And then stop riding the big roller coaster. Bring your highs down a little bit, bring your lows up a little bit, and enjoy the kiddie ride that you can stay on for a very long time. You can stay on this ride until you achieve the success that you believe you deserve. And then have courage. You don't need it all day. You just need that small moment of courage, and it can change your life. And then lead from the front. Don't ask anybody to do in your business what you're not prepared to do. Leaders lead, they don't manage. And if you embrace these 5 principles, I promise you, you will start to become the leader that people are looking for. And how do you attract leaders into your business? You first become the leader. So thank you so much for your time and attention here today. I really appreciate it. Thank you.